All right, so this is my initial fresh out the theater reaction to Batman. Is this movie good? Yes. Is it a superhero movie? No, this is not a superhero movie. And even though I hate comparing things because I don't like this whole war between Marvel and DC because you don't have to like one or the other. You can like both. But since Marvel is the gold standard right now, I have to use that comparison. This movie is nothing like a Marvel movie. Absolutely nothing. But quite frankly, it's not very much like most of the previous DC movies either. It is its own thing. It's very much, while I say it's not a superhero movie, it's very much a Batman movie. As far as tone, the overall tone of the movie, the look of the movie, think Seven meets The Crow with maybe the Zodiac thrown in there. So if you know that, you like those kind of movies, those noir, dark, gritty movies, then that's what you're in for. And this is non-spoiler, by the way, so I'm not going to give anything away. This is a great Batman movie, and it's a great movie. Does it have its problems? Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. There are some flaws. In a different situation, wouldn't be a flaw, is that the movie it's too long. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But there are parts for a movie where they could have tightened it up. It's still good, but it is a long movie. That second act going into the third act, it kind of loses you a little bit. I really think that this would have worked so much better, and just hear me out now, as a 5-episode maybe series on HBO Max, where it would allow them to flesh out Selena Kyle Catwoman a little more, and maybe Commissioner Gordon a little more, and definitely they could have fleshed out Alfred, because those three characters they're in there a lot. I think especially Alfred, he gets a little shortchanged. They could have fleshed out the story a little more. It would have worked perfect as a 5-episode HBO Max series. I think it would have been perfect. I think it would have been perfect as a 3-hour movie. It is a little long. I think kids won't like it. Not because it's, I remember when Batman Returns came out, it got a lot of complaints because they said, from mothers saying, oh, it's not kid friendly. Kids got scared of the penguin. There are definitely things that are going to scare kids. But I think for more than being scared, I think kids will be bored, because it's very much a detective story. It's slow, it's plotting, it's methodical. Gotham City, I really liked Tim Burton's, the way he did the whole gothic look, almost unreal version of Gotham and Batman Returns. But, it was a little cartoony, it was a little not real, but I did not like Nolan's realistic version. It looked just like Chicago or whatever. This version, it's a real city, but it does have a lot of gothic elements. Really, really pulls it off well. A good blend. I think the best blend. This is the best Gotham's ever looked, and the most realistic or accurate Gotham that they've ever come up with. It's definitely a city, definitely real. It's almost its own character. Um, you could feel it, just like a dying city. Wounded. Sick. Um, Perfect. They did. I think this is the best Gotham they've come up with. Again, if you don't like those movies like Seven or anything like that, where it's almost always dark, always rainy, then you're probably not going to like this movie. That's one of those reasons I say, some people don't like those movies, when it's all dark and gritty, and just not even just what's happening on the screen is dark and gritty, but just the look, the tone, the feel. But otherwise, like I said before, I don't consider it really a superhero movie, but it's definitely a comic book movie. If you think Batman, 70s, Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, that classic run, or even some of the Dark Knight Returns type Batman Year One, Patterson as the Batman. I really think Christian Bale nailed the best Bruce Wayne. The playboy not caring. Those scenes when he goes in with the models and jumps in the fountain. That's should be Bruce Wayne. That's his cover. I think he nailed Bruce Wayne. This Bruce Wayne Patterson, he seemed a little too brooding, little not caring. He didn't really care about Bruce Wayne, but then you realize that this is Batman, basically supposed to be Batman year two, and he learns a lot from that beginning to the end about his role. So I think he pulled off that Batman or that Bruce Wayne really well as the Batman. It's really good storyline translated into what he is into what Batman becomes. He comes to a lot of realization that, again, no spoilers, this has been done before in Batman stories, where he realizes that he almost is the cause of a lot of the things that happen just by being there. I think this is the best Batman Gordon team up movie. They get the perfect Batman Gordon relationship in this movie, better than any other one. Not saying there haven't been great Gordons and great Batmans, but this is the perfect relationship. It shows him as basically trusting Batman more than basically he trusts most of the people in the police. And it shows that there are people in the police that actually like Batman, but a lot of people don't. I think this is great. The relationship between Gordon is probably the best in any of the movies. It's hard to say, when you say who's the best Batman, it's really personal preference. I think he definitely does a good job. When you realize this is supposed to be basically Batman year two, I think he does a great job of that. Batmobile. This is my favorite Batmobile of any of them. I mean, point blank. I like it better than Tumbler, better than the '60s version, better than Michael Keaton. This is by far like the. It's just my favorite Batmobile. But again, that's personal preference. As far as the other characters, like I said, the Gordon team up, the best. I think this Alfred is amazing. I think he has great potential. They could have did more, like I said, in the series. Selena Kyle, Catwoman. This version of Catwoman, this is the modern version of Catwoman. I think it's the best version. I think they nail the version that's in the comics. Basically, that came out ever since Batman Year One, Mazzucchelli, Frank Miller. This modern Catwoman, this is her look. Perfect. They don't do very much with the cat burglar stuff, which I think they could have probably explored better if it was a TV series. Penguin is brilliant. I think it's the perfect version of Penguin ever. And the Riddler, I'm forgetting him. Great villain, creepy. I can't go too much more into that because of spoilers. I don't want to say anywhere, but great Riddler. And I think this is a great Batman movie. It's a great comic book movie. I think any true, real Batman fan that's Batman from the comics is going to think this is a perfect movie. Downsides, it's a little too long. They could have cut it. And the other thing is the ending. Again, I can't say too much because I don't want to give spoilers, but the ending is a little anticlimactic. But I'll have to wait till a spoiler review to say any more about that. Definitely a good movie. Like it. And since this is running long, I'm going to cut it right here.